Let me take a quick inventory here. I think we at least have a quorum. We can get started. Okay, I'd like to call to order the February 7th, 2022 meeting of the Westfield Parks and Recreation Commission. Excuse me, not off to a great start here this afternoon. I'm gonna take a quick roll call. Ken McGarrian.
Here.
Sarah Unger.
Here.
Jane DeBarbieri.
Here.
Vinnie Alinsky.
Here.
Bob Bernesi.
Here.
Doug Morash.
Here.
Scott LeBombard, I know, is not going to be present this evening, and Mike Terrell is here. Okay. First item on the agenda, approval of minutes from the meeting on January 10th, 2022. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes?
Excuse me, I think my name was missed. Sorry to interrupt.
Who was that?
Michael Marte.
Hey, Michael. Yeah, that was so that roll call was just for commission members. I do have you. No, that's okay. I do have you further down on the agenda though, so we'll get to your item shortly.
All right, thank you.
Sure thing. Okay. Is there a motion to approve minutes from the meeting of January 10th, 2022?
Make a motion.
Okay, I think I heard Vinnie first.
Bob seconds.
Second, Bob Bernesi. Any discussion? Any questions? Okay, seeing none. Ken McGarry. I'm sorry, did somebody have something? Okay. Ken McGarrian.
Yes.
Sarah Unger. Sarah Unger.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay, Jane. I figured you probably were going to vote yes. Jane DeBarbieri.
Yes.
Vinnie Alinsky.
Yes.
Bob Bernesi.
Yes.
Doug Morash.
Yes.
And Mike Terrell is a yes. Thank you. Motion passes. Public participation. Would anybody like to participate for up to 3 minutes? Anybody who is not currently on the agenda for this evening? All right, seeing none. Items for business. Kathy Catugno, permit renewal for Park Square, August 31st, 2022, from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. for the annual National Overdose Awareness Vigil. Kathy, welcome.
Hi, thank you. Hi, everybody. So we're just, it's really the same venue as it has been in the years past. So we're looking to use the green downtown to do our annual visual on overdose awareness, the National Overdose Awareness Day. And we also have resources that we provide to the community on that day. And I don't know, participation last year was well over 100. So, and the only big thing that we ask for is we need electricity for the band and the microphones, which we've provided in the past, and to have the fountain off.
Fountain off.
And I think last year, I think we had the lights off. Well, actually, if we could not have them go on at the normal, like.
I think that's standard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's standard. If you just coordinate with, I guess probably, when is this? This is in August. Yeah. So I coordinate through the department, and we can have them shut off for the vigil.
And then the only thing different we did this year is we asked for the rain date to be the following day, which would be, is that Thursday, September 1st? Did I put that in there?
It would be, Thursday, September 1st. That's correct. Yep.
So, and that's the only thing that we requested different. Because
Okay,
last
Kathy,
year,
go ahead.
oh, last year we had a good chance of rain and we kind of scrambled. So we decided we might decide to start putting in a rain date now.
Okay. And the only question I was going to ask was, do you have based on past years, what an estimated attendance number would be?
100 plus.
Okay. Any questions for Kathy from the commissioner? Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion to approve by Vinnie Olinsky and seconded by Jane DeBarbieri. Thank you very much. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none. Ken McGarrion,
Yes.
Sarah Unger,
Yes.
Jane DeBarbieri,
Yes.
Vinnie Olinsky,
Yes.
Bob Vernesi,
Yes.
Doug Morash,
Yes.
and Mike Terrell is a yes. Okay, thank you, Kathy.
Thank you. You guys have a great night.
Thanks, you too. Next item up on the agenda, Kevin and Cesar Adorno on behalf of Backyard Worship Sessions. And this is permit renewal. We did this one last year for Park Square and the Pavilion, June 11th. Let's see, set up and take down 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. Gentlemen, welcome.
Good evening.
How's everything going? Nice to see you guys again.
Yeah, everything's going good. Just trying to stay warm out here.
Excellent.
Last year, let me double check that we did our backyard worship on July 31st. The turnout was great. We actually had over 100 people go. And it was just a great time and whatnot. Basically, what we want to do this year is pretty much the same concept. Give back to the community, have prepackaged like hot dogs and food to give away. And of course, we're going to have a few worship bands and stuff. The reason for the time that I asked for this year, 12 to 9, was because last year we kind of got held up in setting up. It took a little longer than we expected. So roughly, just to give you kind of like a background in regards to that, it may take like 2 hours to do setup and do sound check for the band, and just to give time as well for the ladies or the gentlemen that are going to help us give out the food. So what we're trying to do is start the event in itself at 3 to 8, and then have that last hour to break down. We do not need the water fountain to be turned on. That can be off. Let's see. Yeah. I don't know if my cousin wants to jump in from here.
Oh, yeah. So just real quick, as far as the water fountain goes, so the water fountain's on by default.
Okay.
So do you explicitly not want it, or are you asking for
No. It's fine. I just know last year it wasn't on. So
it was not. Oh, okay.
No, yeah, and that was in July 31st, if I'm not mistaken, or 3rd. Yeah,
okay.
July 31st.
It's possible they might have been doing maintenance or something.
Okay. Okay.
On it
Yeah.
during that time.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, Cesar, did you have something that you wanted to mention?
Yeah, tagging along with my cousin. And the reason we do this is to just gather the community, all the faith-based. I just want to show a quick picture, very quick. This was a little bit of last year.
The background's not going to help you.
Anyways, great turnout, and that's what we want to do, man. It was great seeing all different faiths, Russians, Blacks, just getting together for one good cause. And the reason I do it is to share my life story, which I was an addict, and now I'm free, and I just want to bring that to my community. Let them know that there's hope. That's all, guys. Thank you.
Excellent. Any questions for Cesar or Kevin? Okay, seeing none, is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Hey, Doug, thank you. Is there a second?
Second. I'll second.
Second by Sarah Unger. Any further discussion or questions for these guys?
Excuse me, can I ask a question? Rain date,
Yeah.
would the following Saturday, Kevin, do you have the date, be available if there's a rain date?
So check back with Peg. She'll have that schedule. I don't have that information right in front of me.
Okay.
But what we can do is we can approve it with a contingency that date is available for the rain date of 6/18. Is that the following week?
Yes.
Or the
Yes. Correct. Yep. The 18th.
6/18/2022.
Yes.
So Peg, when you're listening to this, can we add that to the application, and we'll approve it with that date in mind. Okay, motion was made and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none. Ken McGarrion,
Yes.
Sarah Unger,
Yes.
Jane DeBarbieri,
Yes.
Vinnie Olinsky,
Yes.
Bob Bernesi,
Yes.
Doug Morash,
Yes.
all right, and Mike Terrell is a yes as well. Gentlemen, thanks.
Thank you
Good night.
guys.
Thank you, guys. Good night.
Good night. Next item, Ryan Dunphy, School Athletic Director. Renewals for Whitney Playground, March 21st, June 30th, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. for the Westfield Technical Academy School Softball. Welcome, Ryan.
Hey, good evening, everyone.
Good evening. This is pretty straightforward, right? This is the same thing we did last year.
Yeah, so it's essentially the same thing that we've been doing for some years. Westfield Tech girls softball is looking to practice and play games over at Whitney Playground.
Okay. Anything special about this year? Anything different circumstances? Anything that's changed at all?
No, not really. So we'll start as soon as we can get on the field when it's playable. The season starts March 20th for us, and we'll go to hopefully the first couple weeks of June, depending on postseason status.
Okay. Excellent. Any questions from the commission? Mr. Dunphy? Okay, seeing none. Is there a motion to approve?
A motion to approve.
All right, thanks. Thanks, Jane. Is there a second? Second by Bob Bernesi. All right, any further discussion or questions? Okay, seeing none. Ken McGarrion,
Yes.
Sarah Unger, Jane DeBarbieri,
Yes.
Vinnie Olinsky,
Yes.
Bob Bernesi.
As the softball commissioner, he enthusiastically says yes.
Yes, enthusiastic. Yes. Doug Morash
Yes.
and Mike Terrell is a yes. Okay, thanks, Ryan. Go Bombers tonight.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Good night.
Good night.
Hey, Michael Martell on behalf of the Western Mass Wolverines. Permit for Whitney Playground for a baseball tournament. I'm assuming for a softball tournament. Saturday with refundable fee and non-refundable. Okay. Yeah. Saturday, April 9th, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 50 to
Yes,
75 people.
Yes, good evening. Yes, it's going to be amongst friends and family. We're going to orchestrate it over at Whitney Playground.
Okay.
People in the community, Western Mass. We're just coming together, and then at the end we'll have a potluck with food. Out beverages as juice, water, no alcohol, and we'll be picking up our own trash. As far as that, I also have one of the players that wants to play and make a team. I'm only going to do about 5 teams, nothing major. we can get insurance liability if that becomes as well like an issue if someone was to get hurt or something like that.
Okay. Their entrance fees, is there like what are the?
No entrance fee. More like people are gonna donate at the end for the potluck. Just have a good time.
Okay. Okay, and we're looking at 4/9/22.
Yes.
With a rain date of 5/7.
Yes, sir. Correct.
And that is a Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Questions for Mr. Marte? Okay, seeing none. Is there a motion to approve?
Bob Veronesi.
Okay, motion made by Bob, seconded by, did somebody second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by
Thank you
Jane.
so much.
Thank you, Jane. Any other questions or comments, concerns?
So you guys know a little background of me. I own a home in Westfield. I'm a resident for 7 years, graduate of Westfield State. And we've been playing softball for about like 8-10 years now. And we travel with friends, family. We go all over the United States, and this is what we like to do. So we just kind of like bring it back to the community, trying to just have a good potluck, because we play softball in Holyoke and all over Western Mass in different leagues, as well as Westfield. We play on Friday nights, and we've been there for about 5 years. And we just want to kind of give back and have a good time.
Excellent. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.
Any further
yeah.
comments? Go ahead, Doug. Yeah.
Mike, I don't have Ryan's permit in front of me, but it doesn't cause any conflict with the times that Westfield Technical Academy needs. That they're not there on the weekends, are they?
They are not there during the weekend. No.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Take a quick look at it.
Yeah, Saturdays are usually pretty. Some of the guys.
Yeah, Monday through Friday.
Okay.
Westfield Technical Academy is Monday through Friday.
Okay.
Any other comments, concerns? All right, seeing none. Ken McGarrion,
Yes.
Sarah Unger,
Yes.
Jane DeBarbieri,
Yes.
Penny Alinsky,
Yes.
Bob Bernesi,
Yes.
Doug Morash,
Yes.
and Mike Terrell is a yes. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
All right, Heather Witalitz, a permit request for Park Square in the Pavilion for National Women's Month, requesting to display and place white ribbons on light poles. Welcome, Heather.
Hi guys, how you doing? My name is Heather Witalitz. I'm a small business owner with my mom in Westfield, a real estate company. And this past year in 2020, we've been doing a little bit of research about women's history in Westfield and found it to be really fascinating. So if you don't already know, March is Women's History Month. March 8th, which is March.
Absolutely unbelievable how busy. Well, just catching up.
If anybody's, for the folks that aren't talking, if you could mute.
We've got appointments on today, and then we came to a whole frozen.
I can talk loud, it's fine.
No, but there's a way that I can do it, I think. Although it doesn't seem to be letting me. Pete, are you able to give me the power to mute?
It's 413-388-4215.
All right, let's try to make do. Heather, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So Tuesday is March 8th, and that signifies International Women's Day. And just to give you a little background, it was kind of created to give to reflect on contributions of women in the United States. But what I would like to do, seeing as though that the city of Westfield is insanely rich in women's history, we wanted to put white ribbons that kind of look like this on the poles that are around the park square. So we would do it on Tuesday, and depending on what the committee decides, we would like to keep it up for a couple of days, just as a visual representation for the city to have something to sort of honor the women in Westfield. Some of the women that we would recognize are obviously notables like Alice Burke, Catherine O'Brien of Stanley Park, Casey Bellamy, Seal Hahn, who was not only a radio personality, but she was also the first female Westfield Chamber of Commerce president. So that's sort of what we wanted to do. And then we, if you agree, we would work with some of the students at St. Mary's High School, and they would help us put the ribbons around the green.
Questions for Heather?
How would people kind of know what that symbolized?
That's a really good question. So we have on our Facebook page, we do Women Wednesday, where we highlight every week a woman of Westfield or someone that does contributions for the women of Westfield. I was thinking that, I've been thinking about that question. So in addition to the ribbon, I was thinking about maybe doing a small sign just in case if it's nice weather out and people do walk around, there might be something that I can put no bigger than the size of like a lawn sign, just so that people could understand what it's about. If that's not amenable to you, then I would just use social media as the medium of communication.
I believe we're not able to put just signs up based on the sign policy, the sign ordinance. I don't know if Nick, if you have a familiarity with the sign ordinance off the top of your head as to what I believe unattended signs on park property is not something that we're generally good with.
Yeah, you're asking me, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, I'm just asking if you have.
Yeah, I mean, there's the temporary sign ordinance would have you covered. There's obviously regulations on the size and how long it can stay up, but that's not an issue. It's up to your commission whether you allow signs to be put on the park property, on the city property. Generally, those signs are put up on private property, and they can't be put out on a tree belt or something like that. So I don't think there's a. I can look it up right now. I don't think there's an omission. I mean, it's not like it's not allowed. But if it's given a special permission, I think it can be allowed.
Got it. I think generally we don't. Just sort of to be fair across all the groups. But in either event, any other questions, thoughts, or concerns?
Heather, will there be any kind of event, like anything, or just a display of the ribbons and the potential sign?
I'm actually glad that you asked. So this being the first year, I think it's basically, I don't know of any other citywide event that's really doing anything for International Women's Day. So not that I'm trying to champion an annual event, but I think this would just be sort of year one of having white ribbons as a talking point. And if we engage some students to help and do some community service hours, it may be a good teachable moment. Next year, maybe if the community embraces it, then maybe we could build off of it. But I think the goal is basically to just keep it small and do something that's more of a visual representation. We can certainly abide by the sign rules, and we can use social media as our platform to tell the story and, just put it out there. So.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, because I think, I haven't been on the commission that long, but I feel like we, if there's an event going on a given day, then there can be a sign up during the event to kind of let people know what's going on. But I don't, to Mike's point, I don't typically I don't think we want unattended signs over the span of a couple days is kind of.
Yeah,
how I
no problem.
remember it. Yeah.
No problem.
Any other questions? And we're looking for their ideal state, going up on the 8th of March and coming down on the 12th.
So the 12th is a Saturday. I didn't know how your committee felt with the longevity of it. So it would definitely be for Tuesday. I think in order to tell the right story, you'd probably want to keep it up a couple days. So I would offer to take it down on, Saturday evening or Sunday morning with the students. But if we could have it up a couple days, great. And if you say no, then we'll, we can kind of bob and weave around that.
I think 5 days is fair. If it came down, went up on Tuesday and came down on Saturday, I would think, and of course it's obviously up to the commission, but I think we can present it as is. And then if there's any further discussion or concerns, we can address it at that point.
Can I ask one more question, Mike? How are they attached? Are they just tied?
Yep. So it's kind of like a wedding bow. I don't here, I can show it to you. They have it's a bow, and then it's string. I don't know if you can see this, but it's string that you would tie into the loop so that it was secured. And then also, if the concern is sort of the aesthetics, my office is directly across the street at the tavern. So I will be monitoring this on a daily basis several times a day, because I respect the park and my city, and I certainly don't want it to look not as it should be. So.
No, I was just more concerned on whether it was anything that would be difficult to take down, or that you would leave in. If it's just being tied, that's a different.
Yeah,
story.
it's like the ribbon that you would put on a gift wrap almost. Yep. So, and then this is just sort of like you would see it on a church pew at a wedding.
Okay.
I don't know how else to explain it.
Yourself,
Any other further questions?
all the fresh stuff in your house because you're going to be gone.
Okay, seeing none, is there a motion to approve?
Oh, no, we've got everything.
Approve.
Motion made by Jane DeBarbieri. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Doug Morash. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none. Ken McGarrion?
Yes.
Sarah Unger?
Yes.
Jane DeBarbieri?
Yes.
Vinnie Alinsky?
Yes.
Bob Bernesi?
Yes.
Doug Morash?
Yes.
And Mike Terrell is a yes. Okay, thank you, Heather.
Thank you very much.
Next item, Dave Flaherty, pickleball permits renewal for municipal playground. Has Dave joined back in yet? He was on earlier and he had to drop, and he said he would be back. I'll check back in. I believe he's going to rejoin. So I will come back to that item.
Mr. Chairman, I'll text him and let him know. Okay.
Okay, sure. While we're waiting there, Bill Babinski, Horseshoe president, Westfield Horseshoe president, permit renewal for municipal playground. Welcome, Bill.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, I'm Bill Babinski. I am secretary and treasurer of the Westfield Horseshoe League, and we're hoping to have permission to use Westfield William Babinski Memorial Horseshoe Park again this year for our competition, which starts, we have a meeting day after Easter on the 18th of April, and we run through the summer every Monday night from around 5:30 p.m. to 9 or 9:30. I think if you have my petition there, my form.
Yep. I do.
Yeah.
I've got 4 p.m. to 10:30, which I'm guessing is for to give some buffer on each side.
That might not be mine. I don't remember we don't go that late.
Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on. I got the wrong one.
Okay.
Hold 1 second. 5:30 to 9:30. Yes. I'm sorry.
And we have a number of anywhere from 10 lately it's been dwindling participation, but we have anywhere, could be from 10 to 20 people, and we have 4 teams or individual competition. And we finished our 100th year of competition in the city of Westfield last year. Actually, it took 2 years to do because of the COVID virus.
Got it.
So,
Okay.
So we're hoping to continue and start on our second 100 years.
Awesome. Nothing new this year, right, Bill? Like it's a straight renewal. Like anything unique about this year's tournament?
Nothing new. Nothing added.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Babinski? All right. Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Vinnie Alinsky, thank you. Is there a second? Second made by Bob Bernesi. Any additional conversation? All right, seeing none. Ken McGarrian,
Yes.
Sarah Unger,
Yes.
Jane DeBarbieri,
Yes.
Vinnie Alinsky,
Yes.
Bob Bernesi,
Yes.
Doug Morash,
Yes.
and Mike Terrell is a yes. Thank you, Bill.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good night.
Take care, you too.
Okay, bye.
Okay, I see that Mr. Flaherty has joined. Welcome back, Dave.
Thank you.
Pickleball renewals for this year for the municipal pickleball courts, February 15th to November 30th.
Right, there's 3 different ones.
Yep. I've got, so they were all this, oh no, yeah, right. February 15th to the, hold please. The first one I've got is February 15th to December 31st. And that is municipal playground pickleball courts. And this one is labeled evenings.
Yep.
And which evenings are these?
That's Tuesday and Thursday.
Tuesday and Thursday, okay. And is this, this is open play or is this?
Open play from 4 p.m. to closing, yep.
4 p.m. to closing, which is 10:30?
Yep.
Okay.
Same as
Second
last
one.
year. Yep.
Yep.
Next one should say leagues on it.
Next one is leagues. Yep. It's 5 p.m. to 10:30, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Yep. So those are 3 sets of leagues on those nights. And those things fill up very quickly. Those are really popular.
So that's on a sign-up basis?
Yep, they sign up to play based on their level, and they play different teams each week for, somewhere like an 8 to 10 week session, and then they start over again.
Okay.
And then the last one is the weekends.
This
we
one's
got
labeled.
there. Yeah, it's
This
labeled
one's
morning.
labeled.
Okay.
Labeled mornings, yeah.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday mornings, 7 a.m. to noontime.
Okay.
Saturday and
this
Sunday being the busiest.
Yeah, and is this open play? Is this first
It's
come,
all-
first
yeah.
serve?
That's open play. It's a round robin. People show up and they put their paddles in a rack and they take turns sharing the court. As one game finishes, the next 2 or 4 people come on or off.
Okay.
And it's like that on the Tuesday, Thursday nights as well. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is structured league play. It is an hour for each match. And, you play from 5 to 6 or 6 to 7, 7 to 8. But these other ones here are all open play. People share the courts and take turns. And there's a rack system where people put their paddles and wait in line kind of thing.
Got it.
There is
okay.
no level, which is one of the interesting things is, there's a desire to have some courts dedicated for advanced and some desire for newbies, for beginners. And the pickleball group is trying to figure out the best way to handle that. But right now, everything that is listed here is all open play, which means everybody mixes in together.
Okay. This is basically the same schedule that you held last year. Is that true?
Yep, exact same. Yep.
Okay. Any questions for Dave?
Dave, I just have a comment. I'm glad to hear that the committee is thinking of courts for newbies as well, because I know a lot of people who would love to play those mornings, which are a lot of mornings that are taken up. I would encourage that to happen. I think that'd be
Yeah.
a really good thing, even if it was only for 2 hours.
Right. No, I agree. I think there's demand for it. I think, if we could ever find the money to fix those other courts, we'd be able to fill
No,
them
that
on.
would-
for
That would
sure.
be awesome. Yeah, that would be really good.
Yeah. And then that court that's numbered 7 is a mixed tennis and pickleball.
Correct.
And that one, it's harder to play on because there's no retention of the ball. The ball goes all over the place. So if we could find a way to fix that up so that we could really have 2 pickleball courts there without having to chase a ball for a half mile.
Yeah, but even to get the surfaces alone improved, that
Yes.
would be a huge step, to set up portable nets.
Yeah, and we talked about that last year with St. Mary's with the, they
Yeah,
play
we
tennis.
did, and I think he said he might be able to throw in some money toward that. I don't know if that
Yeah.
conversation ever was continued.
No, and we thought we had a donor to cover it and then we might be able to get some grant money from the state, and things. So, but so far, no committed funds. And I think the city would be, would take a lot of crap if we
Oh, yeah.
did that ahead of some of the other projects. So I think right now the pickleball group is thinking it's nice to have what we have. And if we get more,
Definitely.
that'd be great. And if, we're going to pursue fundraising and grants to try to help out. But if there's a revamp of that entire park, it would be nice to fix up those extra courts. It doesn't cost much to put an extra, painted set of painted lines down.
Right. It's just the cracks,
Yep. So,
All
and then
right,
the other news is that the pickleball group is now an official corporation in Massachusetts, a nonprofit. We have insurance for all kinds of things. It's a membership-based organization, though open play is open to anybody, but the pickleball group itself is a nonprofit corporation with a board of directors that's elected. The president happens to be one of your board members, which is really good in his spare time. But it's moving along very well. And the pickleball demand is very, very high in Westfield. So it's a good thing.
Sure is.
Any other questions for Dave? All right, seeing none, is there a motion to approve?
I'll approve.
Motion made by Jane DeBarbieri. Is there a second?
Second.
Doug Morash. Any further questions or conversation? All right, seeing none. Ken McGarry,
Yes.
Sarah Unger,
Yes.
Jane DeBarbieri,
Yes.
Vinnie Olinsky,
Yes.
Bob Vernesi,
Yes.
Doug Morash,
Yes.
and Mike Terrell is a yes as well. Dave, thanks.
Yep. Thank you, guys. I'm gonna hang up. Thank you.
Okay, take care, Dave. Okay, next up, Tanley Santanello, Westfield Football Club. Welcome, Tanley.
Hi, Mike.
Hey. So this is just a renewal, right?
This is just a renewal for the Warnoco Soccer Complex for Westfield FC Soccer for soccer practices and games on the weekend.
Okay. March 30th through November 30th, it looks like.
Correct.
And up to 400 people.
Yeah, so I kind of just threw that number out there. That is the amount of players we had registered last fall. So I wanted to, which what almost doubled from the year before. So I wanted to that number.
Got it. So you have you guys done signups yet for this coming year or no?
We started, yes. Our registration closes next week.
Okay.
Our spring season will not be as big as our fall season. We'll probably have half of that for spring, but I anticipate that we will have another 400 registers for fall soccer.
Got it. And this represents the combination of what used to be Westfield Youth Soccer and the travel soccer and everything. Is that true, or is this a different organization?
The organization merged, yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, any questions for Tanley? All right, seeing none, is there a motion to approve?
Can make a motion.
Second.
Thank you. And second by Sarah Unger. Any further conversation? right, seeing none. Ken Megarian,
Yes.
Sarah Unger,
Yes.
Jane DeBarbieri,
Yes.
Vinnie Alinsky,
Yes.
Bob Vernesi,
Yes.
Doug Morash,
Yes.
and Mike Terrell is a yes. Thanks, Tanley.
Thanks so much, everyone. Have a good night.
Have a good season. Yep, thank you. Okay, item next up, Mike Terrell and Dan Knappich. Wanted to bring this up to folks. Dan reached out to me a while back, and he is working with the mayor on putting together a program to basically put together a plan for maintenance of our fields and facilities, and a sustainable plan over the next over the course of many years. This represents the pilot, the initial go round of this process, and what we're trying to do is get this started so that we can round out at a good time for a budget number for going into the next fiscal year coming up here at May and June. So what we're trying to do is put together a group, a subcommittee based on members of Park and Rec Commission to work with and solicit feedback from the various organizations and people that use our facilities to try to come up with a list of items, a manageable list of items to basically work off of as like a backlog, so that we can put together what the costs are going to be, try to put together a budgetary number, and try to work with the mayor to include that number in this upcoming year's budget. As it stands right now, we don't have, obviously we have maintenance budget for, for the fertilizer and the sort of standard maintenance things that happen on a day-to-day, week-to-week, year-to-year basis, but we don't really have a good plan for bringing some of these facilities up to par with various improvements. So that is what we are working on for this item. I've got a couple of other things that I want to kind of talk with everybody, but I want to give Dan a quick chance to share any of his thoughts or anything that I might have missed here, Dan, and then I can get into sort of the forms and the subcommittee items here after that. But anything to add? Any ideas or thoughts that you wanted to add in here?
Yeah, thanks, Mike. And I'd like to thank the commission for entertaining this conversation tonight. You know, over the years, one of the things that's kind of pained me, and I know Councilor Morganelli's on the call here, same thing there, is we invest in these parks and playgrounds, and then over the course of time, they get neglected for a variety of different reasons, and they fall into a certain disrepair. And a good example of that is back in about 2012 or thereabouts, the city appropriated about $100,000 to improve the fields at North Middle School, which is now Westfield Intermediate. And slowly over the course of time, there hasn't hardly been much of anything put into those fields since that time. And as I came back to the city last January and I started getting back involved in certain things, a lot of folks who use our facilities come to me with suggestions as to, why can't the city do this? And where's the money for that? How come we don't get this? And even since my time on the council and then in the mayor's office, there really wasn't a good, what I'd call process to bring up to the decision makers that have the purse string control, a plan, a long-term sustainable plan to care and maintain our infrastructure, whether it be, for instance, cemeteries, parks, playgrounds. I think Dave Flaherty just mentioned tonight something about some interest in some additional pickleball facilities. I know in communicating with Peter Miller today, there's some problems up at Half Mile Falls Park related to deferred maintenance. So the process here is admittedly a modest one. Our goals and objectives for for the next few months is to bring forward from the users of the fields, and I gathered information through Mike on the folks who have permits with the city to use fields and facilities, and we were going to solicit from them what their thoughts are on as it relates to improvements to the fields and facilities that they use, and try to get into a position where we could recommend to the Park and Rec Commission sometime in April a listing, if you will, of those items. And I'm really kind of focusing here on low-hanging fruit, a number of things that are likely going to be able to be chipped off without a lot of dollar investment initially, because I see this as the start of a process that if we're successful with it this year, we can build a process that's a little bit more thorough next year, and we'll have more time. Where I came from in Yarmouth, we had a very robust process to address this, and in fact, the facilities in Yarmouth were second to none. I mean, we ran 2 golf courses, 2 municipal golf courses, and pickleball courts, and you name it. So what I'm borrowing is a few pieces of that puzzle that worked so well in that town, and trying to launch it and get it off the ground for this spring's effort. I did meet with the mayor earlier last week. He's supportive of the endeavor. Like everybody else, this is one of those like, well, if we send out the information, what will we get back? Well, you've got to solicit stakeholder impact. The most important thing to focus in on, though, is that we avoid this cycle of double spending money over the course of time because we let things decay. And that's really what my intent is here. And I can tell you that between Westfield Little League, Westfield Babe Ruth, and St. Mary's, all of those 3 entities there are willing to put additional capital into some of these activities for the benefit of their programs. And for instance, I'm on the board of directors at Westfield Babe Ruth, and we appropriated up to $30,000 to be spent this year at Yackham Field and at Bullens Field for the benefit of all the folks that play at the field there, with a plan for over the next 2 years to spend up to $80,000 improving those facilities. I know because I spent a long time in Westfield Little League as well. There always is investments being made in Sadie Knox, in Paper Mill, and Cross Street. And so what we'd like to be able to do is identify from our users some of the things that would make our facilities and amenities better. B, try to leverage funds that these organizations are already putting into our facilities and try to make the dollar stretch it out and go a little further. And C, to Mike's point, is try to be able to build a list or a backlog, if you will, so that we aren't scrambling every year. Like it seems like after the appropriation cycle goes by, people come with this idea like, well, we needed this for that. And it's too bad you should have been to seen us 2 months ago because it could have maybe gotten into the budget. The whole idea is that we get better at planning and preparing to present to the mayor items to be put into the budget. So this is it's a very modest, and it's I requested from Mike a very quick effort to see what we can find from the groups that use our fields and to see if we can get some wins this year. And hopefully on behalf of all the stakeholders in the city that use our properties, start making those needed improvements that make their experience that much better here in town.
Thanks, Dan. Any questions before we go any further? Any questions from the commission? Mr. McGarry, sir.
A couple of things. A great idea, obviously. At some point in time, I don't know when this was, didn't we have a 10 years of plan? Some type of an audit that was done. I remember going to meetings. I think we should take a look at that, and hopefully we can wrap this into that, or maybe parts of it even, I'd be disappointed if parts of that plan or those plans didn't have some of this in there. So we have something else to use to support this endeavor. Second item, our professional full-time staff. And they've done this before. If they could come up brief analysis of what we have, what's out there, the conditions of, and their recommendations, I think would be very helpful.
Yeah, agreed, Ken. I think there's certainly, you know, in talking about soliciting the folks that are using the facilities now, that's one source of items that we can and that we should be looking at. But I agree. You know, we do have folks that are out there every day, close with these facilities. We also have, you know, other resources that have been used in the past. I don't recall the 5-year plan that you're mentioning, but undoubtedly we've endeavored down this road in the past. So any of that stuff that we have that we can pull out that can help inform the decision-making process is welcome. Any other
Mike, if I can just answer that. So
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the idea here would be if we're a little bit successful this spring with this effort, that we would begin the process anew, like sometime in late September, October next year. And to Kenny's point, we would wrap in all of these other ideas that have come. And I do know, you know, Scott's on the phone here. You know, one of the things that we're trying to do, you know, long term would be to identify in bright line clearly the maintenance effort on a regular basis that goes in on a facility or a field, identify what that level of effort is. We're not looking necessarily to, you know, add new burden to the professional staff, but certainly be able to better, for the city council, for the mayor to better highlight what they do now. So as a for instance, and I'll give you this as a perfect example, at North Middle, say as a for instance, because we spent $100,000 back in 2012 to put a skinned infield in there. And by the way, I've been going up to North Middle for years. I had no idea that the baseball fields were up there because the grass from the time that school was built in 2000 had filled in all the infields. And in fact, there was a skinned infield baseball diamond there. There was a 90-foot baseball diamond where St. Mary's High School plays its games there. And there was a Little League field way in the back. And after a few years, the school department let it all grow. And then so we brought it all back. It was in perfect playing condition. The sprinklers worked. We were fertilizing it for a few years. And then slowly it deteriorated again. So the idea would be, in checking in with the professional staff, if we can't maintain it, what then would be the amount of money it would be needed then to engage a contractor on a contract price to sustain it? Because I hate the idea of having to go back and spend another $100,000 to bring the fields back if you could have spent a few $1,000s along the way. And frankly, at those fields, because we do have users committed to their care and upkeep, some strategically placed equipment with those users in agreement with the city and those users, we could have kept those fields well maintained. So that's kind of like if I gave you like one specific example of what we're trying to accomplish in this effort as it gets a little bit more mature down the line, that would be a perfect example of how we would avoid expensive rehabs down the line. At the same time, though, recognizing the role that the school department and the city has in caring for the major area out there at North Middle. There's certain things that, frankly, you need to do a little bit better of to maintain a safe level of play for the kids. I get a lot of commentary from the baseball folks and the softball folks about the danger that they are, with bad hops in the infields and things of this nature. So, I mean, the whole idea is to avoid expensive rehabilitation projects. And if we're successful, a little bit of prevention can go a long way, I think. And certainly if there's a 5 or 10-year master plan, in the fall, we could take a look at that, see how it fits. The whole idea is not to reinvent anything, but blend all the different efforts we have, with the main goal is to make sure that we have sustainable park and facilities maintenance going forward into the future.
Thanks, Dan. Any additional questions on this topic? Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. No, just a quick comment. I mean, I agree with what our former counselor and mayor said, Dan Knappich, that, we really need to have the staff to do this. Either we contract out or we have the staff in the DPW department to take care of all our parks. And it's obvious from what he said that, that wasn't being done. So that is an issue. And, that department, I know over the years, the last 20 years, 15 years, has been getting leaner and leaner. There's less people in there. I'm sure Scott Hathaway can comment to that. But so, yeah, I'm all for having a plan in place. And I think it would be great. I mean, people in Westfield love to enjoy the outdoors and they love our parks. And it's just, it's a great asset. We do have the green space that we have to take care of it, because there's people on the north side know there's not a lot of green space up there, and they enjoy coming to the south side and the central part of the city to enjoy that. So thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, so I forwarded two documents to the commissioners earlier today, and one of them is basically a form, and one of them is a letter. The letter is basically something that will go out to the folks, the users of our facilities, that will basically explain to them what we're trying to do. It'll explain the use of the form that we're providing, which is the second document. And it will ask them to fill that out, return it, and participate in a series of feedback meetings that we'll have via the subcommittee that we're looking to put together. So the two things, I'll do two separate votes just to keep them straight. But the first item that I would ask for a motion on is that we approve the documents with potential, if in the event that there is I don't believe there is, because I did proof it, but in the event that there is a typo or something that we approve, that we correct that. But basically is so that we can send these documents out to the users of our facilities to explain to them what we're trying to do and ask them to give us feedback. So that would be the first motion that I would ask for. Is there a motion to approve that?
Make a motion.
Thank you, Vinny. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second, I think that was Sarah.
It doesn't matter, whatever. Yeah, I'll second, but whoever.
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none. Ken McGarrian?
Yes.
Sarah Unger?
Yes.
Jane DeBarbieri?
Yes.
Vinny Alinsky?
Yes.
Bob Bernesi?
Yes.
Doug Morash?
Yes.
And Mike Terrell is a yes. Thank you. Motion passes. Second is the motion to form a subcommittee. And I need volunteers for that. I did have a quick conversation with Scott LeBombard about this, and he has volunteered to jump in on this with the group. I am volunteering to be involved in this subcommittee. Would like one more at least. Ken McGarrian. Okay. Thank you. I think we could go as high as 4 if somebody else really wanted to jump in with us. Seeing none.
I can help out if you want 4. I can do it.
I was going to say I can too, but I'm not either way. I can be an alternate.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll just check and verify the number that we can have on the subcommittee based on, because I know we can't have a quorum based on open meetings. So let me just double check on that. And Doug, we'll figure that out.
Okay.
But thank you. Okay. Can I have a motion, I guess, to form this subcommittee?
I don't think you need a motion to do that, Mike.
No, I can just form it.
Sure, of course. Of course.
Okay. Dan or Nick, based on your knowledge of open meeting laws, do you believe I need a motion to do any of this, or am I able to?
I know on the council, the president could appoint the committee, and normally it would just get voted as empowered by the body as whole. it's kind of like a form. It doesn't matter. I don't think, because it doesn't have any authority, if you will. It's here to
Yeah.
make recommendations,
Okay.
Right. Okay. Mr. Chairman, I think if you just state the people that are on the committee for the record, and you don't have to vote on it.
Okay.
They've
Okay, for the
given
record-
their word that they're going to be on the committee, and you're setting up a subcommittee. So, yep.
Got it. Okay. So for the record, the subcommittee will be myself, Mike Terrell, Ken McGarrian, and Scott LeBombard, and Doug Morash as a potential fourth. Okay. Thank you.
Mike, if I can, just to let everybody know, I want to thank everybody for listening to me and also for volunteering. As I explained to Mike, I see this kind of like a quick fuse situation. So the letter will go out to the users. And what I've asked them in that correspondence is that they respond back to us. And as soon as we start getting them back in, I see maybe a matter of 2 subcommittee meetings through the month of March, maybe a third one, to synthesize the material to get to the point where we can make a recommendation to the commission in sometime in April at large, so that then you can take a look at it, prioritize it, and then advance it to the mayor if you so see fit in advance of probably like your first meeting in May, so that it can make its way to the budget process at that point in time. So it's kind of got a quick fuse, but sometimes that's not a bad thing for what we're trying to do.
Okay. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate
Okay,
the time.
thank you. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. Councilor Morganelli. Yep.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to let you know, keep me informed of the subcommittee meetings. If I can be there, I certainly would like to be there to listen in, and because if there's money that needs to be allocated, at least I'm abreast of the issue. If I'm not there, I'll review the minutes, of course. But yeah, keep me informed when those meetings are. Thank you.
Will do. Thank you. Okay, next item up. Subcommittee members. This is myself, Scott LeBombard, Jane DeBarbieri, and Doug Morash to go over seasonal salaries. So we had a little bit of some scheduling issues, and we did. Doug and I did meet to go through this, kind of review all of the existing salaries, and also cross-reference that with the upcoming changes in minimum wage, and had some conversations with Peg about staffing last year, and how many hours we employ each summer, and what that budget looks like. After a fair amount of deliberation, I would say we've come up with some recommendations for these salaries that I think are relatively budgetarily friendly, but also will help us still retain key staff and still be able to staff our parks and facilities. Essentially, I'm going to go through each one of these groups, and I'm going to talk. What we've done here is sort of uniform throughout all of the positions, so I don't think we need to address every single position, but I think we can address them in groups. Playground leaders, playground directors. So within playground leaders, we have 3 levels based on different levels of experience. Playground directors, we have 2 levels. And then day camp leaders, we have 3 levels. And day camp directors, we have 5 different levels, 5 different pay grades. And as a little bit of background, over the past few years with the way state minimum wage has gone up, we've endeavored to try to stay as close to that as we possibly can, even though we are not technically, we're required to follow federal minimum wage, not state minimum wage numbers. So we've sort of worked over the past few years at the request of former Mayor Sullivan on a yearly basis to try to readdress some of these items and make sure that we're sort of staying competitive, and we can, like I mentioned earlier, we can continue to staff our facilities. What we've looked at after looking through sort of all of these wages, what we've decided, what Doug and I decided we would bring forth as a recommendation to the commission, is that for playground leaders, playground directors, day camp leaders, and day camp directors, we would suggest a 25-cent per hour increase across all of those positions. It ends up being a budgetary number of around about $1,400 in additional revenue across all of those positions. So there's a little bit of an increase, but it's not a huge number, and it will allow us to stay competitive with some of the other local jobs, so that we can still retain the folks that have been working at these positions, and also bring in new folks for the entry level positions. All of these positions that I just certified, or that I just mentioned, must be CPR and first aid certified, and that is at their expense. So we only hire folks that are CPR and first aid certified. In addition to those 4 categories that I just mentioned, we also have the other seasonal positions, and those are adult softball supervisors, baseball supervisor, basketball supervisor, the field hockey instructor, the pickleball instructor, and the soccer supervisor, as well as the tennis instructor and the youth sports instructor. We are also suggesting to the commission that we raise the rate. Now, these are rates that we have not touched in quite some time. This latter category, supervisors and instructors. We're suggesting to the commission an increase of 25 cents per position, with the exception of tennis and youth instructor. And the reason for those 2 is that they are much higher than the other ones. All of the others are $16 per hour or less. Tennis instructor is $22 an hour, and youth sports instructor is $20 an hour. So that is sort of the recommendation as I walked away with it. Doug, I'll give you a moment to either correct me if I've misspoken, or if you have a few words that you'd like to say, I'm more than welcome to.
Yeah, no, I think that sums it up, Mike. And I think what we were trying to balance when we were talking about this was, if we keep going up 50, 75 cents each time we meet every year, it's going up as a percentage quite quickly. So what we wanted to do is, still bump it up a little bit, but also kind of keep in mind the budget. So like Mike said, he did reach out to PEG and got some of the total numbers in terms of, 25 cents more per hour times all the hours for all these different positions. And, Mike talked about that total. So it isn't a huge amount of increase in the budget. And talking to PEG also, in general, it's just kind of a quick anecdotal information from PEG, but the salaries as they are, and even with this little bump sheet, said there isn't really an issue hiring folks into these jobs. I think, a lot of people like the flexibility because they're a set time in the summer. So if you're, say a college kid, you come home, you have the job and you leave, you don't have to worry about, Big Y or Applebee's where they might want you to stay past the end of the summer. So these jobs are kind of fit perfectly. So I think it's we try to get to a good balance where we were increasing a little bit, not keeping them the same, because there is, competitive market out there in the summer. But on the flip side, talking to PEG and kind of seeing what the monetary impact, we thought that this would be a good in between.
Any questions from anybody in the commission? No questions? It was that easy? If there's no questions, happy to entertain a motion to approve these suggestions for 2022.
I'll
As
make a
stated.
motion.
I can
Motion made
second.
by Jane. Motion made by Jane DeBarbieri, seconded by Sarah Unger. Thank you. Are there any other additional questions, comments, concerns?
There's no way there's going to be an issue of not finding enough applicants. I'm just tossing that out there. That's all.
So all we can say, Ken, is that based on the experience we had last year, we probably could have had a few more day camp leaders, or maybe it was playground leaders. But generally speaking, we were staffed, and we had a pretty good rate of return based on my conversation with Peg.
Okay.
Councilor Morganelli, you have a question?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No, I just wanted to thank you for your fiscal responsibility and thinking about the salaries and how you make those increases, and I appreciate that.
Any other conversation before we go to vote? All right, seeing none. Ken McGarrion,
Yes.
Sarah Unger,
Yes.
Jane DeBarbieri,
Yes.
Vinnie Alinsky,
Yes.
Bob Vernesi,
Yes.
Doug Morash,
Yes.
and Mike Terrell is a yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, next item on the list, schedule of bills. Are there any questions? Everybody get a chance to review the schedule of bills for this month? Are there
I had
any
a question.
questions?
Mike. I was just curious about the Suburban girls' uniforms. I didn't really know what that was. Some traveling league?
So the Suburban League is the it's the Park and Rec sponsored basketball program. So they so I'm guessing they bought new uniforms this year. I know they do it every few years as they wear.
So what they do, the boys every other year, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's based on need. And I don't know exactly if Jim was here, he could probably give us a little more of a and I'm happy to find out what the methodology is. But I know from my time having coached in that league, the folks that run it would pull out the uniforms on a yearly basis, take a look at what kind of shape they were in, how many they, if they, some years you miss some, you don't get enough back. No matter how much you chase after people. So I think it's based on need. So if they have, really good looking uniforms and they're all in pretty good shape, then they won't go out and buy them that year. But
I see. I didn't realize they were reused.
yeah, they're reused on a yearly basis. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Sure. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none. Monthly staff reports. Mr. Hathaway, I believe, is with us. Hey, Scott.
So, okay, I was going to chime in on the subcommittee just because I've got so much to talk about that I didn't want to drag it down. So, anyway, with that said, on the reports, I don't have my report right in front of me. I know I had 3 things listed. One of them being the hardscape for the pavilion. That's all set. We're just waiting for the weather to break so we can move forward on that. And that's a great thing there. And we got rid of the shrubs on the sides of Bullens Field coming down the steps. Was those needed to be removed and updated. And they're just full of trash, beer bottles and garbage. So we took those out, and I'm working with Nate from the horticulture department again. Great rapport, great contact with him. So he's going to come up with a plan so we can replant that with something a little less maintenance intensive than those Taxus shrubs were, and something that's a little bit more pleasing and easier to take care of. So,
and Scott, those are the shrubs by the football entrance?
Yeah, they're Japanese yews that wants to be a 30-foot tree. So what basically is what we're doing is doing a bonsai effect by shearing them constantly, and it's not the right type of plant material for that application. So we'll have something nice for that, and it'll be much better than what we had and way easier to take care of.
Okay.
The other problem that we've had was and a lot of you probably don't know of it, but there's a small shed that we have the football irrigation and backflow preventer are in. It's about, 3 feet high, and you have to open these doors. It's falling apart. It's really bad. So I talked to the carpentry department at the trade school, and they're going to build us a shed that we can take that out, that we can actually a shed somewhat similar to Warnoco, but not as big. All we need is just something that we can access for maintenance and to get in instead of crawling around with, a 3-foot clearance to get in there to turn it on, turn it off, take the backflow preventer out, and plus it looks awful. It looks like I don't know what it looks like. I don't even know who came up with that design, but yeah, you guys all know which one I'm talking about?
Is it the one in the back corner there?
There's in between the baseball field and the football field bleachers on the visitor side. There's this little shed with a shed roof. It's not even it doesn't have a pitch roof. It's about 3 feet by 12 feet long. And, there's raccoons in it and bees, and it's really bad. So Fran and I had talked about it 3 years ago, and trying to get it going. So I had a conversation with the director of the carpentry department. He was like, yeah, no problem. He goes, we'll build it right in here, and then when you want, we'll bring it over and put it right in place. So I thought it was we just have to pay for materials. Oh, a lot less expensive than buying one outright.
Okay. All right, good.
Yeah, not a lot. Excuse me, go ahead. Okay.
Question?
I thought I heard someone say something, but
No, I think that's a great idea, having the carpentry department right over there at the boat do it. It's wonderful.
Yeah. So, there hasn't been a lot going on. This is the slow time for us, but I am interested in the subcommittee for the maintenance parts of the fields. Definitely.
Yeah,
I thought we were going to meet before that, Mike. I thought you, me, and Dan were going to meet before this meeting, but that's fine. We'll get that together.
Yeah, and by all means, Scott, if you're able to be there, I think you should be there.
Yeah, I'll absolutely be there.
Right.
I wanted to say one thing to Scott. I was at the Parker Park recently, and it looks beautiful in there. The job you did trimming up the bushes.
Yeah,
really looks good.
The grass did come in, and so it's not ideal. It's not exactly what I wanted, but everybody seems to be responding positively, so that's great, and not coming after me with pitchforks. So
no, you can happy with you can see the difference, right? Even driving by, you can see the difference with the entrance into the park.
Yeah, I know Mike Ayers is thrilled.
Yeah,
his shoulders are saying thank you.
Sure he is. Okay, thanks, Scott. Did you want to talk to Jim's report? I know Jim wasn't able to make it.
I wasn't at work. I worked this weekend at the base, so I took today off, a vacation day. I didn't know if Jim was on. He's not on.
He's not, but I could talk through his report.
Okay.
So basketball, instructional and freshman divisions have ended. United Basketball League is bid season. Regular season should end around the first week of March. The spring and summer brochure, Graphic Image has won the brochure bid, and the brochure is at the printer. The price will be determined, will be a determined base price. Dance and luau, both the father-daughter dance and the mother-son luau have been canceled due to low enrollment. Adventure Zone, we have donated 2 gift certificates to the Westfield Kiwanis auction for 1 week of Adventure Zone. And new programs, instructor-supported open play pickleball, teen empowerment camp, and All-Star Tuesday. All-Star Tuesday have changed themes. So that is the update that I have from Jim. Shame that the father-daughter dance and the mother-son luau have been canceled due to low enrollment. I'm sure COVID has something to do with that, but I can say from experience, having done that with both of my daughters, the father-daughter dance for many years, it was always a great experience for everybody. So too bad that we didn't have that interest. Okay. Next meeting is March 14th, 2022. So we'll be reaching out to assess who's able to make it and who's not. In the meantime, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Made by Jane DeBarbieri, and a second?
Second.
Second by Bob Bernesi. I think we can just do show of hands on this one. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we are good. Thanks everybody so much for another month.
Thank you.